What's really striking is how the future isn't just like arriving slowly. It feels like it's already here,
Yeah.
unfolding in ways you just wouldn't expect. I mean, think about moments like when Kanye West gave Kim Kardashian that digital animation of her dad, Rob Kardashian. Super
Oh,
realist.
yeah, I remember that.
Or that PSA, the one with Joaquin Oliver,
Mm.
the Parkland shooting victim,
Mm-hmm.
reanimated with AI to talk about gun violence. It's surprising,
Yeah.
definitely. Maybe a little eerie sometimes. But it points to something big changing in how we, relate to loss.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating here, I think, is how technology is, well, it's fundamentally blurring the lines between life and death.
Right.
We're seeing this whole digital afterlife industry just sort of spring up. So in this deep dive, we're going to explore how our digital footprints, all that data we leave behind, is being used to create digital immortality.
Digital immortality. Wow.
Yeah, it's a concept that really challenges our deepest assumptions about, what it means to be present and, well, what it means to be gone.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We've pulled together a whole bunch of sources, articles, some really cutting-edge research to properly dig into this. It's evolving so
It
fast.
really is.
So our mission today is to try and pull out the most important bits of knowledge, understand the comfort maybe that this tech offers, but also the huge challenges it throws up. And ultimately, what does it all mean for you, for us, the living, as we kind of navigate our own digital legacies?
That's the core of it.
So maybe let's start by grounding this idea in something really human. Because the urge, the impulse to connect with people who've died, that's ancient.
Right.
Oh,
As old as time, yeah.
people have always talked to photos, visited grave sites, more recently maybe scrolled through, an old social media profile of someone they lost.
The quiet connection.
Exactly. It's this ancient ritual. But now the difference is with technology,
Mm-hmm.
the dead can sort of answer back.
Hmm.
We started seeing hints of this with things like My Heritage is Deep Nostalgia. That was February 2021. It would let you animate old family photos.
Right, those moving photos. Could be a bit uncanny.
Definitely uncanny sometimes. And remember Build-A-Bear, the custom audio messages.
Vaguely.
People started using that simple voice recording tech to leave parting messages or just to bring back a little piece of a loved one. There was even that story that went viral. The woman who's Build-A-Bear with her late mother's voice inside got stolen.
Oh, right. And Ryan Reynolds offered a reward.
Exactly, like $5,000 to get it back. What these early things really show, I think, isn't just wanting to remember. It's this deeper, almost primal need for continued presence.
Yeah, presence. That's a good word for it.
And that's the need technology is now sort of stepping in to fulfill, blurring those lines between memory and, well, reality.
And it's fascinating how this historical human impulse is now crashing right into these huge leaps in AI and deep fake technology.
Yeah, the deep fakes.
That ability to synthesize, incredibly realistic images, audio, video, making it seem like someone's doing or saying something they never actually did. We're way beyond just simple voice recordings now. You've got companies like Eternum, for example. They're actively trying to create interactive digital avatars based on a deceased person's entire digital footprint.
Their whole digital life.
Pretty much. As the founder, Marius Ursak, puts it, the big idea is digital immortality, using a lifetime of your data so a version of you can live on interactively.
Wow. And we've seen some really high-profile examples drag this into the spotlight, haven't we?
Definitely.
Beyond that, Rob Kardashian animation Kanye shared back in October 2020, which was startlingly true to life, shared everywhere. We saw the Unfinished Votes PSA. That featured Joaquin Oliver's likeness and voice, reanimated incredibly from just 3 photos.
Just 3 photos. It's amazing, technically.
Urging action on gun violence.
Yes.
It just shows how fast this tech is moving. And, maybe the pandemic played a role too.
How so?
Well, COVID-19, all that isolation, things like funerals moving online, it kind of forced death and dying right into the front of our minds, didn't it?
That's a really good point. It perhaps made us collectively more open to, or at least more engaged with, these ideas of digital afterlives.
Yeah, maybe accelerated things.
Which naturally leads us to think about the vast digital cemeteries that already exist, almost by accident.
You mean like Facebook?
Exactly. Social media platforms like Facebook have inadvertently become these huge online memorial sites. There's something like over 30 million deceased users on Facebook alone.
30 million? Wow.
And unlike, a traditional grave, these digital remains are kind of active, sometimes unsettlingly so. You get prompted to wish a dead friend happy birthday, or Facebook suggests adding a deceased person as a contact.
Oh, that's happened to me. It's jarring.
It is jarring. It forces this new kind of encounter with the departed. Now, accounts can be memorialized, they say, remembering so-and-so.
Right, I've seen those.
But it doesn't happen automatically. Facebook's main concession has been letting users pick a legacy contact to manage or close their account after they die.
But you have to choose to do that, right? It's opt-in.
Exactly, it's opt-in, which means most digital remains are just left untended, floating out there.
Okay, so we've covered the tech, some of the, let's be honest, kind of creepy aspects. But it's not just creepy for everyone, is it? There's a flip side. People are finding comfort here.
Oh, absolutely.
What are the genuine benefits? How does this actually help someone who's grieving?
Well, for many, just hearing a loved one's voice again or seeing their likeness move, it can provide a real sense of continuity, a connection. And that can genuinely aid the grieving process, help preserve positive memories.
Okay.
There's a really groundbreaking example, Eugenia Kuda's Roman chatbot.
Tell me about that.
Her best friend, Roman Mazurenko, died in a car accident back in 2015. She took about 8,000 of his text messages and used them to train an AI chatbot.
Wow, just from texts.
Just from text, and she found it really helped her get closure. Some of Roman's other friends used it too and found it therapeutic, even insightful. One said he was giving some pretty wise life advice.
From a chatbot based on texts.
Yeah. It gave them this unique way to kind of keep learning about him, keep processing their loss.
That's actually quite moving, a digital companion almost.
Mm.
But while that kind of connection is clearly comforting for some, these technologies also bring up some huge ethical and emotional issues.
No question.
For others, it could easily make grief worse, right? Creating what some people are calling a digital haunting.
A digital haunting, that's a powerful phrase. And yes, that's the fear.
I remember the reactions online to the Kardashian hologram and the Joaquin Oliver PSA. They weren't all positive. A lot of people called them creepy, disrespectful, even gross.
The backlash was significant.
And it immediately made people ask things like, okay, how do I stop anyone doing this to me after I die?
Exactly.
It's not just a legal thing, is it? It's deeper. It's this profound ethical dilemma about ourself, maybe persisting beyond our control. Who owns that echo of us?
Precisely. And this highlights that fundamental tension. Digital immortality really challenges an essential assumption regarding our right to die and be forgotten.
The right to be forgotten.
Yeah. It boils down to that core question. Who actually has the right to our identity, our persona, once we're no longer here?
Which just opens up this huge Pandora's box of specific risks, doesn't it? Like, first off, consent.
A big one.
Did the person ever agree to their data being used like this? To create a digital version of them?
Usually no. The technology didn't even exist for most people currently deceased.
Right. And then there are serious privacy risks, misuse risks. Could companies exploit these digital immortals? Use them for advertising?
Or manipulate the personas to say things the actual person never would have believed or endorsed. That's a huge concern.
Yeah. And what about just the psychological harm? We talked about the uncanny valley, that weird feeling when something's almost human but not quite.
That's an unsettling feeling.
But beyond that, just unwanted interactions. Could they cause real distress? And finally, ownership. It's such a thorny question. Like, what is a body, a face, or a voice when it's detached from the soul that used to inhabit it? Do we just become the property of our family? Or does our digital self have some kind of independent standing?
It's fascinating because science fiction has been wrestling with both sides of this argument for decades. These stories really tap into the real anxieties and hopes people have.
Like what? Any examples?
Well, back in 2006, the neuroscientist David Eagleman wrote a short story in Nature called A Brief History of Death Switches. It was actually a more positive take.
Yeah.
He imagined computers constantly sending out social intercourse of the dead, greetings, jokes, invitations. It created, as he put it, increasing difficulty in sorting the dead from the living.
Sounds chaotic.
A bit, but for him, the upside was allowing us to revisit shared jokes, recall nice experiences forever. But then, on the flip side...
Black Mirror.
Exactly. Black Mirror's episode Be Right Back from 2013, that painted a much darker picture. A woman recreates her dead boyfriend using his online data.
And I remember that one. It was chilling.
Right. The digital version, it lacked all the human nuances, didn't need sleep, never argued. And in the end, she couldn't cope with it and locks it in the attic. because it just wasn't him.
Yeah, a perfect copy isn't the person. So it's clear that tech is racing ahead, but the rules, the laws, the guidelines, they're lagging way behind.
Way behind. There are hardly any rules for managing just our normal digital presence after death, let alone this whole emerging digital afterlife industry.
So what's being done? Are there any solutions being talked about?
Well, yes, people are thinking about solutions, and they're badly needed. You have companies like the Digital Beyond starting up, offering digital undertaking services to help people plan ahead for their online
A
presence.
digital undertaking.
Estate planning companies are now starting to suggest naming a digital executor in your will, someone responsible for your accounts, your data.
That makes sense.
But the crucial need really is for updated legal frameworks, laws that specifically address digital estate planning, who owns a digital persona, how digital memory is handled.
Are governments looking at this?
Some are. The European Union's GDPR, their big data protection law, actually does recognize post-mortem privacy rights, which is a step.
Okay.
But enforcing that is tough, especially when social media platforms often have these no right of survivorship clauses buried in their terms and conditions.
Right, the fine print.
It really forces us to ask, how do we ensure basic human dignity in this new digital space? There's actually a compelling proposal from Carl Ullman and Luciano Floridi, they're ethics researchers at the Oxford Internet Institute.
What do they suggest?
They argue we should treat digital remains with the same level of dignity and respect we afford, say, ancient human remains found in archaeology.
Interesting parallel.
Which would mean strict regulations on what companies can do with these deceased avatars, maybe even limiting how much influence families have to prevent misuse and protect the deceased's dignity.
So if the laws aren't there yet, practically speaking, what can people or companies do now to navigate this?
Well, the recommendations coming from experts tend to focus on a few key things. Number one, getting informed, documented consent from people before they die if you're ever going to create a digital persona.
Consent first.
Makes sense. Then things like age restrictions, maybe, to protect vulnerable groups. Clear disclaimers making it totally transparent that this is an AI, not the real person.
Transparency.
Strong data privacy and security are obviously crucial. And importantly, providers need to offer ways for users to, respectfully stop interacting with these digital personas if they find it too difficult or just don't want to anymore. A way to say goodbye again, maybe?
A digital off switch.
Exactly. But the core challenge, it really just remains. Law does not move as fast as technology. Not even close.
So for now,
For now, and probably for the foreseeable future, we're pretty much on our own to decide how we want our digital afterlives, if any, to be managed.
this whole conversation, it just brings us right back to that central tension, doesn't it? Balancing this really deep human need for with all these incredibly complex ethical, emotional, psychological risks of digital immortality. It's a truly fascinating and, often unsettling new world we're stepping into.
It really is. And as we navigate it, we are all building our digital legacies every single day, whether we actively think about it or not, all that data.
Right.
So maybe the question for everyone listening is, what part of yourself, if any part at all, do you actually want to leave behind in that digital realm?
That's a heavy question. So what does this all mean? Hopefully this deep dive has given you plenty to think about as this fascinating, sometimes strange, definitely impactful future continues to unfold around us.